Hey, what's going on? It's Pernell Bobby checking in with another video teaching you how to create an incredible sex life leveraging astrology. All right. And on today's episode, I'm specifically talking about empaths and their love quarrel and complications and so much more that they have with narcissists. Okay. So if you're a narcissist watching this video, listen up. If you're an empath watching this video, listen up. And if you're looking to use astrology to help create a better sex life, which this is a relationship dynamic, even between the two, and to get yourself in a place where you start to feel more safe, more validated, more appreciated for the empath, or on the opposite side of you, the narcissist, you're looking to step out of your selfish ways and you're looking to step more into the place of really respecting others. This is the perfect transit that we're going to in order for you to create an incredible sex life, all right? I wanted to briefly check in for a celebration, a moment to celebrate. We've all dealt with so much trauma, so much drama, so much bullshit behind the illusions in our relationships, behind our conditionings and our patterns. Pisces full moon, September 19th. We are doing a celebration. Check the link down below. Definitely subscribe and enjoy the rest of this video. I would love to see you there at our donation-based celebration, baby, in the Pisces full moon. And I just got my last video, so check out that interpretation. Love. This is the one. We're talking Mercury in Libra, and we're talking Venus in Scorpio. All right. These are my two main focuses. Current transits we're going through. We're going to go through a Libra retrograde, Mercury retrograde in Libra very soon. I'm going to explain what this is. I'm going to explain the relationship between that and empaths and narcissists. All right. And so in order to do that, I want to break in real quick. What am I thinking about when I'm thinking an empath? What am I thinking about when I'm thinking a narcissist? And why does it apply to this transit? So, for starters, it applies because Venus is in Scorpio, all right? So when Venus is in Scorpio, it's basically in its detriment. It's like in its fall almost. It's on the opposite side of where it normally is, which is Taurus. So Venus talks a lot about our attachments, all right? Talks about our values, talks about really what does having fun looks like, you know what I mean? What does pleasure in our life look like? So in the relationship space, what does pleasure in your relationship look like between the narcissist and the empath, let's just say? And I say this because empaths oftentimes attract narcissist type behaviors. Why? Because they want to help and save the whole world. That's like the whole empath mentality. They want to cure and heal and do all this stuff. And narcissists are naturally attracted to them on the opposite end because they're like, an empath will give them the world. It will give them all the attention. It'll give them what their ego needs and desires. So what's major about this particular transit is Scorpio on the opposite side of Taurus, Venus and Scorpio, this transit currently going on, is saying, hey, if Taurus is all the earthly things, the things on earth, right? The money, how you value yourself, your material possessions. Scorpio is on the opposite end, talking about everything within the dark, all right? Everything that's not on the surface. So Taurus, all these things on the surface, the planet, the earthly matters that exist. Scorpio is more obsessed with the psychology of the mind, psychology of the thinking. And if you look at like an empath narcissist type relationship, what you'll notice about this relationship dynamic is the beginning of the relationship is often very much a fairy tale, and it's the moment where a narcissist is coming out of their space to give you that feeling, to make you feel like you're finally needed, to make you feel like you're finally appreciated. And I recognize this in my life more in the later years, and I didn't recognize in what ways I was being a narcissist, all right? For open vulnerability to start. This is Venus and Scorpio talking vulnerability. It's time to be vulnerable, to bring out our hidden desires, the unconscious parts of our mind, all the things that were in the depths of our programming, the depths of our traumas, the depths of our pains. This is all things Scorpio, and all of our attachments to those pains, to those emotional addictions, to the emotional trauma. So I would say in some capacity, whether empaths recognize it or not, they get addicted to the emotional trauma of healing the unhealable, healing people who don't really want healing and just want their unlimited, undying attention. So it's really important for empaths and narcissists to kind of recognize when they're playing what role. I think that it has a moment where it actually switches, and the empath there has become the narcissist at a certain point when things kind of get out of control, because a lot of times on empath, they are manipulated by a narcissist when they are not understanding their own emotions, not catering to their own emotions, and giving themselves that amount of attention and love and self-care that they give to their partner who happens to be the narcissist. And for the narcissist, it's like they just love this, they eat this up. This is what keeps their engine going. So a lot of times I want to also make this very clear, like most narcissists don't know they're a narcissist, all right? Like in the moment of them being or behaving like a narcissist, they most times don't know. It's also a very unconscious thing, because I genuinely do believe, like most empaths, and I'm also a life path number 11, all right? I do believe, with a Scorpio ascendant, by the way, a Scorpio rising, I do believe that most narcissists are not entirely familiar that they are as selfish as they are, that they are as egoistic as they are and self-centered, and that I think most narcissists don't recognize that they have a trauma bond addiction and draw towards other empaths. My eyes are really sensitive today. I'm actually not in the best mood. This kind of what inspired this video. Like for me, the Venus Scorpio parts of my previous relationships are being reflected in my current relationship, where have I allowed myself to give more to my partners than I give to myself. And I think one of the key things is, and I've been recognizing my own relationship, I think one of the key things is for empaths is to recognize that, please, because it is so painful. It's so painful, and I speak about this from experience myself. Like, I put myself in so much pain when I didn't recognize in what ways was I doing everything for the people across from me that I would fall in love with, and recognize, was I falling in love with them, or was I falling in love with my need to serve and my need to help and my need to take care of others, take care of the world, take care of humanity, society, the whole thing. And it's like, I'm really starting to get close to the point I'm recognizing, like, is that really my fucking job? You know what I mean? Like, I gotta really be honest. Is that really my fucking job to just take care of everybody at all costs? And I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say fuck that. Hell no. And the biggest thing is when an empath starts recognizing that they need to take care of themselves the same way that they need to take care of others, then the narcissist starts wanting to give you back attention. They start wanting to show up. They start wanting to be vulnerable, even if it is only temporary, just to get you hooked again. Because when they think they're gonna lose their prized possession, their valued attachment, right? We're talking Venus and Scorpio attachments right now. So Venus and Scorpio are talking about attachments, like they literally value and need that particular attachment, all right, of getting their ego pumped up and boosted by you, the empath. So really be honorable and check in with that, and recognize that right now when Scorpio and transiting through Venus, you have a very clear opportunity and a lot of help with Mercury going in Libra, and also being backed up later in the month by the retrograde of Libra. My eyes are so sensitive today. I feel like I need some freaking glasses. I'm gonna press pause. All right, thank you for checking back in with me. Jesus, my eyes are they're still hurting. I might even do this with my eyes closed. You probably won't know because of my thing. I'm gonna check in on my notes real quick. To really kind of get back on track between if you're empath dating a narcissist, what to do, how to use this transit. Right now, recognize that if you're the empath, be really wary and aware of the moments that you start to see their false views, right? The false views that your partner has. You start to see that they don't actually care about you the way they care about themselves. And recognize as well, there's a fine balance to this. Like, you should be with somebody that loves themselves more than they love you, all right? So empaths on the opposite end, where narcissism can really be your greatest teacher, is to start to love yourself in the way that they love themselves, you know? but not to forget and lose track of where you were empathetic of the emotions of the people that you were supporting that were around you, the people you were serving. Don't lose track of that. Don't just cut the cord and say, I'm gonna fuck you guys, I'm out, I'm gonna do it all for myself. If you're an empath, it's more about integrating the lesson that you learn from your relationship with the narcissist and how they treated themselves first. So if I give you a prime example, like my lady loves to get her feet rubbed, right? But there hit a day where I recognized, I was like, I can't rub your feet. And you know, I noticed the grumpiness and like yo, what the fuck is up with that kind of thing? And the reality was, I was thinking about it, it's like, honestly, if I'm really looking at this, and this is not about a competition or a tick for tat, but it's like, you don't rub my feet. And if you have done it, there was these 2 times in comparison to the limitless amount that I do this daily. I just do it daily because I know that you enjoy this. I know if the feet are represented the Pisces, right? And she has, you know, her moon in the 12th house and a lot of connection with the Pisces archetype in general. So it's like, you know, I know how much care that can give and emotional support in a way for her to escape in isolation. But it's like, when I really think about it, it's like, I'm just doing this every day while sitting on the couch, watching a show or doing whatever, just talking. And recognizing that I would really love this same as well. So I didn't recognize, like, this is one of the things I learned from past narcissist relationships as I had time with Scorpio and Venus to really dive back in and reflect on the deeper parts of where are my triggers and my angers and my rages at. In what ways have I betrayed myself by only loving the person across from them and serving the person across from me rather than asking for that same tender loving care myself. This is really about the empaths and the narcissists in a dating relationship and where you want to be honest with yourself. So I had to start actually, in order to really step out of these conditionings, all right, I had to start to articulate. Right now, Mercury is in Libra. We have the ability to articulate strategically with rationale mind and a very clear, Libra is a masculine sign with a very clear brain, framework of mind that has looked at all of the different solutions and decided to pick something. This is a major reason why empaths struggle in relationship with narcissists. They struggle to make a decision on what they know their intuition tells them to do. All right. And last night I found myself in rage, and right now again, Scorpio and Venus helps us to dive deeper into the psychology behind my attachments, behind the things I value, of what enraged me last night. Right? Like literally, like I found myself fucking shaking the goddamn olive oil, and I like ruined my white walls. I got fucking olive oil in the ceiling right now, and I gotta like paint it, and I gotta do all these different things because I was unable to control my emotions. Right? Recognizing that this is magic. You're an empath, you're a magician, you're a fucking magician, right? You're a magician. And how I've learned to recognize magic is chaos. Magic is chaos. Chaos is magic. But practicing proper magic is when you take chaos, let's say lightning, for example. You want to hone and harness lightning. You take chaos and you find this place of balance and equilibrium with control. When you can balance and control the chaos, you can redirect and transmute that. All my empaths out there, all my magicians out there, all my witches, my brujas, my druids, my witchers, like all of you, so many more, the Taino and Puerto Rican culture, the freaking Hawaiian shamans, all my magicians out there, whoever you are, recognize that chaos, when controlled and balanced, you can now transmute that into something beautiful, into helping the world the way you want to, or at least you believe you did, and not necessarily only put all that energy towards and drain yourself with a narcissist. I find myself ridiculously drained right now. I find my eyes really being unable to stay open, and I gotta start really being honest with myself. And this is another moment where Scorpio and Venus plays its role, because it's like I have a Scorpio rising, right? And it's like, I'll be honest, my Scorpio rising is like, yo, I really don't fucking trust people, because people have shown me who they really are over and over and over again, especially with a Gemini and Venus. It's like in the 7th house, like I attract liars. And I recognized my rage last night of what the fuck, like this person is literally looking to disguise their insecurities. Like my partner, the lady I'm dating, I had to recognize she's looking to disguise her insecurities. She's looking to disguise the moments where she lacks confidence in herself through intellect. And it was very triggering for me because, again, that Venus and Gemini for me, 7th house, all right, one-on-one personal relationships, looking for fairness and balance. In truth, is like, you're not being honest and truthful with me. Like, blame is being positioned on me, and I'm refusing to take that. This is, and for like 4 or 5 days, I found myself with the chaos balanced and controlled through my meditations. And then I also found myself just want to say, look, P, like, my intuition said, do not engage. If you're an empath, I need you to listen to your fucking intuition, please. My intuition said, do not engage. It is not time. You are walking to a tornado. But I'm like, but it's been like 4 days. Like, I haven't been engaging for 4 days. I've been smart and fucking calm and strategic. And I know that I'm being baited. Like, recognize these moments, like when you're being baited. And this is something I had to, again, I got to start really loving myself and treating myself right with respect and allow myself to be vulnerable, and also look for the space of gratitude too, and not to look to just put blame on anyone else either, but to look and take personal responsibility. If you're empath, take personal responsibility, especially with narcissists, because then, you know, I learned that I have more of an internal locus of control. Because I'll be honest, last night I was enraged, and like, I mean, just rage. And it took over me in a way where it's like, this is Venus and Scorpio. It's like, we will find ourselves and our attachments. And if I look at what my attachment is in this moment, one, I could sit there and call it emotional addiction, which is now coming to a place where it needs to die, right? Scorpio is where things go to die and transform into light. So it's like this particular programming, this habit, this wiring, this conditioning of mine is in the space of dying, right? And so as a part of that, things always got to kind of implode a little bit before it starts to shine bright like a diamond. So I had to recognize this, but here's where Mercury and Libra comes in really well. Mars is also in Libra. Mars wants to take action. Mars wants to do things now. In Aries, that's where it's natural at. But right now it's in Libra, the opposite of Aries, which says I need to take into account everyone else's things before I make a decision and say something with a clear, objective mind. A mind without personal feelings involved. This becomes the way empaths, we have a very good opportunity to help control our emotions, our reactions, what we give as an empath, just because we can feel the energies and emotions of the people across from us. We have a choice of looking at all the details and making a logical, non-emotional, and objective decision. Decide. And with Scorpio and Venus, we have the ability to look into our subconscious. We have the ability to look into the deep recesses of our mind, our psychology, and say, why have I decided this? Why does this enrage me? Why am I angry? Why do I allow X, Y, and Z from this narcissist that I'm dating to the empath? All right. This is part of my interpretation and literally looking to help you create an incredible sex life. So please do like this, subscribe to this if you're really still rocking with me. I'm looking to use astrology to help you. Noticing that this is a transit, okay? And a month from now, this transit will be done. All right, so this is a very strong supporting energy right now to create balance. Libra is all about balance. We have Mercury, a planet, in balance, being Libra. Mars, a planet, in balance, being Libra. And so the Mercury is our communication, our mind. It's the things. It's our learning process. We have the ability, and it's our communication. It's like we have the ability to balance our communication and balance our actions with coming to a fair conclusion and a balanced way of expressing ourselves, communicating our emotions, our needs, our identity, the parts of us that are dying, the parts of us that no longer exist, and come to a peaceful win-win. Libra is a win-win solution, all right, around these things that you've discovered as for your needs, your values, your attachments, the things that you find beautiful, the things you find pleasurable, all right, especially in the space of relationships. So if you're dating an empath, if you're dating a narcissist, either one of these sides, this video is for you. Thank you for liking and subscribing. And this is ultimately, as we take astrology and we look at the transit, how they can support us in work and live and date and romance and love and cycles, recognizing when is it time to just step back, all right? Because Scorpio and Venus requires a lot of time alone, all right? It requires a lot of time in isolation to understand its feelings, understand its pleasures, its emotions in Venus, understand its attachments and the things that makes it fucking experience pleasure, right? Scorpio's making us do that. And then when we go back and they take that isolation time, the intentional isolation time, when we look at the things that are making us angry, when we look at the things that are making us act out in vengeance or a vindictive behavior or just from a place of revenge, and we look at it, when we look at where we are, it's this key word with Scorpio, Venus, where we're not trusting other people just to not trust them, then we have a beautiful opportunity to allow something to die, to create space for something brand new to come in. All right. This may be your relationship with an empath or with a narcissist, allowing the gratitude to flow in of where the lessons that allow you to start trusting yourself more in this transit of this month cycle. This all are the things that I believe personally that helps you create a better sex life, because, you know, are you really having an amazing sex life if you're really betraying yourself in your emotional needs by only giving as the empath to the narcissist and not receiving a fair, equal exchange? Libra, balanced in between. Right now, all of our minds collectively, 9.8 billion people or so on the planet, are collectively thinking about win-win scenarios. All right. And finding a win-win scenario causes a lot of discussion in between. Libra is a social sign. Scorpio is a social sign. It requires us to socialize. All right. So Mars taking action and socializing, Libra and Mercury communicating and socializing these things. How do we get our fair, win-win, balanced outcome? All right. We're talking magic. You're all magicians that are empaths, using your feelings, using your emotion. You can call on your ancestors. You can manifest things by just speaking out of your mouth. You are a magician, recognizing that chaos, in my opinion, chaos is the magic. It's the focus point in this 3D reality of what magic is like. And when we can focus on how to balance and control that magic, we can transmute that and create something beautiful. I would like for you to create an incredible sex life. I think that is beautiful, but I think it doesn't happen when we have all these aspects of our relationships where we feel it's unbalanced, where we feel as empaths unappreciated, where we feel as narcissists that we're losing our peg, our stepping stone, the empath that we're stepping on. These are the moments I want to really check in real quick. When a narcissist can't feel like they can't exploit the empath's energy anymore, and they feel like there's a limit on what that empath is willing to give now, or the empath keeps giving, recognizing when you're attached to that and you are obsessed with the emotional addiction. Recognize the empath often forgets itself and basically just only exhausts itself out now. I feel extremely exhausted right now. If I'm being honest, I feel exhausted as fuck, and I know that it's not because I didn't get to sleep, right? Notice that beyond that beginning stage for the narcissist, that they do give you that satisfaction in the beginning, but notice when the shift is no longer balanced, and that point is when empaths start feeling underappreciated, but then they try to start giving more, thinking that there's something wrong with them. Don't do that. Don't be me in these scenarios, all right? Empath, don't be a victim of your kindness. So if you're dating a narcissist, don't be a victim of your kindness. Recognize that kindness is there to be exploited by the narcissist. So right now we have a very big time to check in with the childhood traumas, to check in with where in our more traumatic and painful moments. Scorpio is where all the trauma, the death, the sexual violations, the inner child that's been locked away, the 4th, the 8th, and the 12th house are those places in isolation, the private, what happens behind the scenes. These are all things that happen in those spaces. And right now, you also got Scorpio and Venus, which means that you can be having incredible fucking sex, or that you could be super duper magnetic, especially my Scorpio Risings, my Scorpio Ascendants right now. You could be super duper magnetic right now with Venus and Scorpio, everybody wants a piece of your cake. So, be aware of your attachments to that as well. All right. 'Cause I think we're going through an 11th house transit for Scorpio specifically, which is like, look, like your connections, your colleagues, your associations, they're really starting to draw and be gravitating towards you. So if you find yourself in a toxic relationship, in a codependent relationship with other people, right now is a good time to use your network, use your colleagues, your friends, your associates, connect with them, talk to them, call out for help, right? Reach out, because right now you have, especially if you're a Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising, I would say, Scorpio Ascendant, you have that connection. But this is my interpretation of what it's looking like when an empath is dating a narcissist. When a narcissist is dating an empath, a couple of things I feel like you should be mindful of. By awareness, I think is really a key component for empaths in this relationship dynamic. Even for narcissists to recognize, like, do you really want to be a narcissist? Like, are you just following some sort of programming? Do you really want to be that selfish? Because right now, like, you know, Jupiter in Aquarius and Saturn in Aquarius, like, those things are requiring us to be better humanitarians, to be less selfish, all right? The complete opposite of Leo, less selfish. So by doing that, you're going to be rewarded big time. And all the planets right now, there's so much retrograde happening. I think not until like later, mid-October, like all things start to go back to direct. And all that slow moving planetary action that seems like life is holding you back, holding your money, holding your love, all those things, that stuff, all the things that we're doing right now, especially after this Mercury retrograde stations and it finishes in Libra, then what was gonna happen is all your karma is gonna fucking come back, bro. Everybody, karma's gonna come knocking. So you want to be on the side of that karma where you were maybe taking the blows up front now during these retrograde seasons, and when the retrograde's done, you want to be on the good side of that. All right. So my big recommendation for this is anything you are, if you're an empath, doing for a narcissist, start doing those things for yourself. All right. My big next recommendation is, if you find yourself not trusting, check in with the reasons, the underlying psychology behind why you aren't trusting, the hidden motivations behind why you're not trusting, the hidden underlying reasons of why you're finding yourself so attracted to the emotional addiction, the chaos, the emotional chaos, the turmoil in your head, the psychological terrorism. Check in with that shit. Recognize why you're attached with it. You have a beautiful opportunity with it right now with the Scorpio and Venus. And you know, also allow yourself to be vulnerable, because the biggest thing in this transit is communication. These are both interpersonal signs, Libra and Scorpio. They talk with other people. Even though Scorpio may think, I don't really like fucking talking to other people, now's a good time for you to do it with that 11th house transit. This is my interpretation, Pernell Bobby, looking to help you create an incredible sex life, leveraging astrology. And in order to do that, I'm teaching you about yourself, how to work in the cycles, the moon cycles, the transits, to better improve your relationship. Right now is the time to talk your way through, but not before you take the time to isolate, to understand for yourself, where are you overgiving, where are you seeking for attention and baiting people to trap them. Maybe if you're on that narcissist side, baiting people because you know that the empath wants to serve you and you want to stop doing that. You want to stop being attached to that form of selfish, egotistic behavior as well. Check in with this shit for yourself. This is super passionate for me. I hope that this resonates with you tremendously, because it does for me. I feel like, you know, this video, something like this is overdue. I'm looking to pave my way in this space of astrology, in the space of relationships, using astrology to create that better sex life, which is a byproduct of knowing yourself and respecting your partner, taking in both sides right now. What is the win-win? And to get yourself out of the toxic patterns, the toxic codependency, and the relationship traumas. All right. I love you. It's Pernell Bobby asking you one last time to subscribe. Drop a comment if you're still here below on either your story and how you've dealt with narcissists, how you've dealt with empath, or just drop some hearts if you don't really want to share your story specifically, but you were still made it to the end and you resonate with this. Thank you for your subscription. Love, baby. Share this video with somebody else and help a brother out.